Go?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how to learn and study math. I think of math a lot as a language that you need to be doing math every day. But there are some other things that are really essential in terms of success in mathematics. First of all, the most important thing is that you should try to attend every math class. And not only attend the class, but you should be engaged in the class while it's going on. So this is not a passive attention where you're just listening, but you should be trying to figure out the answers as your teacher is going through example problems, especially asking questions when you get confused. So a teacher always likes lots of interaction, and that's the best way to learn, is to interact by trying to answer questions, trying to ask questions, and trying to learn it as you go instead of just passively maybe taking notes and then later on realizing you have no idea or you don't understand what the teacher was trying to explain. The third thing that really is important is to do the assigned homework, and not only just do the assigned homework, but sometimes it means doing more homework than is assigned until you grasp the concept. As you go through your homework, make notes to the margins when you have questions, you don't understand how to get the answer, and then be sure to bring that up with your teacher when you do have class. Now, the next thing is, how do you go about doing your studying and your homework? One of the things that has proven to be helpful is that you review your notes within a very short period of time, maybe a half an hour to an hour after you've had class. So you learn it in the class, and then you take a break, but then you go back and you re-look through your notes and just remind yourself what was taught during the class, and that has been proven to help with retention of that knowledge. That's also a big part of why you need to be doing math periodically throughout the week and not just saving it and doing it all in a big batch 1 or 2 days a week, but to spread it out, doing a little bit each day. Same with a language. It's very similar in terms of how you learn math. So you want to review your notes after class, and then as you're doing your homework, you want to look through your notes and try to learn the topics that your homework is dealing with, and then do the assignment without having to look at your notes. Now, of course, your notes are there because it's a process back and forth. So if you do need to refer to your notes, you go back, you refer to your notes, and you try to learn those topics or those concepts, and then go back and do the problem without looking at your notes again. So you're actually flexing your math brain, your math muscles, as you're doing your homework, instead of just looking at your notes and trying to copy or transfer the information from your notes onto the page, but you're actually using your brain as an intermediary there as you're doing your homework. And then the other thing about doing your homework is that you really need to check your work routinely at a short time after you have completed the problem, so that if you have made mistakes, you can fix your mistakes and correct them. So it's not just enough to see, oh, I see I made a mistake, but then you should be redoing the problem the correct way, so that you're replacing those memories of the wrong way with the correct way. So it's very important that you check your answers and then also correct any mistakes in your homework. A few other points that I want to cover is, also we need to spend some time outside of class studying, not just doing the homework, but then looking through your notes and trying to memorize, trying to learn those formulas, trying to understand those concepts, and memorize a little bit as you go instead of waiting until the end of the chapter and preparing for the test, and then you're trying to study it all at once. Also, before you do your homework problems, you should be taking notes not only in class, but from your textbook. So this is a really good skill that you can learn, is how to take notes from their text, and there's a lot of good resources out there on how to do that. When you're reading your text, it's important that you're actively reading your text, just like you're actively engaging in class. So you are working through the examples, you are following the step-by-step process that the text is explaining to you, and you're trying to follow exactly what's done and reproduce it in your mind so that you're actually working through it as you go. You really should not be trying to multitask. So that's a big thing, I think, probably with most topics, most subjects, that we don't want to have our phone next to us as you're trying to work through a math problem and do a little bit on your math problem and then answer some texts or look at some YouTube videos or whatever it is that you're doing. You want to really concentrate and focus on the math that's in front of you for the period of time that you're working on it. And then again, just to reiterate, we don't want to do 1 or 2 days a week. You want to do really a minimum of 3 to 4 days a week of math. We know in a homeschool environment that it's very, sometimes it's difficult because of other activities to do it every single day, but you want to spread it out, 3 to 4 days a week where you're doing some math and spending that time, not just doing the problem sets that are assigned, but studying as you go.